We're so excited that fall is officially here. You can't really tell quite yet, but the cool weather feels wonderful. And that means people can come outside. And so what has been happening is that we've had some community service projects recently, which are very exciting. We have a group called Pelzer Proud, which has been formed by a Pelzerite named Tyler Love through Clemson, and he's brought together a group, and he wants to do service projects in Pelzer, small service projects that have large impact. And they started off one cool Saturday, painting our new fence with some stain in the monkey park, and it looks really great. I mean, it looks like $1 million. That was so much fun to have a large group of people outside on a Saturday morning, all working together and making something look great for Pelzer. And that same very day, we had an Eagle Scout project installed in the monkey park. And it's really cool because it's something unique that I've never seen before. It is actually a sandbox that was fabricated with metal and installed. It is a raised sandbox, right, for kids who use wheelchairs. So they can play in a sandbox just like everybody else, but it's raised so that they can fit underneath it and use it and feel like they are included just like everybody else, which is so important. And a young man named, his name is Coley Massey, from a junior from Woodmont High School. It was his idea, and he approached us, and we said, yes, let's do this. And it's near our handicapped swing set, so it complements what's already there, and that was a great addition to that park. And as some of y'all know, we've had a lot of food trucks in Pelzer, right there on our parking lot, beside our historic gym, right on Levy Street, right in the center of town. And folks have been saying, gosh, this is great, but we need a place to sit. And so I contacted the Career Center, the Anderson 1 and 2 Career and Technology Center. We've got some great friends over there, and we came up with a project, a partnership. Whereas the town of Pelzer bought the supplies, and the construction class built us 4 beautiful picnic tables, which we have set out under those cherry trees right on the parking lot. And let me tell you, Greg, they were used immediately. And so that's been a great addition, a great community partnership with the Career Center. And those students did a great job. We love those benches. We're going to stain them and secure them and use them for many, many years to come. ARPA money? Yes, we have received the first half of that. And the second half we're supposed to receive any day now. And we have committed those funds to restoring our community building, which was built prior to 1910. It originally was an open-air skating rink in the monkey park. And so, as you know, trying to restore historic buildings is very expensive. And we don't have a lot of resources here in Pelzer, financial resources. We don't have any property taxes, so we don't have that tax base to, in order to save and restore our historic buildings. The town owns 3 of them, and this is the first project. And so we're going to pursue those historic tax credits where we spend the money on restoring the building fully to its original, as close as possible to its original look and feel, as well as adding new modern amenities. And then through those historic tax credits, we get 45% back to the town. So it's a great deal for restoring historic properties, and we're excited about doing that. And so
remind people what that'll be used for once it's restored.
Sure, yeah. The community building has been many things. Like I said before, it was an open-air skating rink. It was closed in. It became a place where people took classes. I was told that the girls' basketball team for Pelzer High School back in the day played inside that building. It became an indoor skating rink. It became a senior center, senior action center. And then it became a community building where folks could rent it out, and we had our town council meetings there as well. And so it all came about when the pandemic happened and we had to shut it down. And we got a little bit of funding to improve the HVAC system, which is very outdated. And we started looking behind the walls and the drop-down office ceiling and started finding all of these original giant windows and beadboard walls and a vaulted ceiling, beams, beautiful stuff. And so we spent some time uncovering all of those panel walls and the drop-down ceiling to reveal the original structure underneath, which started the renovation of that property. We always knew we wanted to, but what is it going to be? Once we're finished, I would really like to do this project right. so that it becomes a community building that is very appealing, handicap accessible. That's very important to me. And also a place that people can rent for any milestone they may have in their lives, like a wedding reception or a birthday party or a reunion. It can be rented out for meetings, presentations, possibly some small music performances, who knows? Maybe a band on a Saturday night, who knows? But we'd like to offer that to the community and to rent it out to have some additional revenue for the town as well. So we hope to have it to be something very special, and we've been talking about renaming it Pelzer Hall. So something that has a new life, an old building that's been given new life, and hopefully that new life will carry on for many decades to come. Well, the town hall will be next. The old hospital will be next, and that was an old lyceum built around 1895. And if you don't know what a lyceum is, you're not alone, neither did I. And it was basically a library that the Captain Smythe and the mill built in the 1890s for the citizens of Pelzer. And there were, it was a library. It was also had lectures, had newspapers from around the world. They had night classes. Captain Smythe, education was very important to him. And so there were many things here in Pelzer that surprisingly were firsts. You know, we had the first compulsory kindergarten in Anderson County, and it was a wooden octagonal building right beside this auditorium, right there in that parking lot. And so, you know, that building is Pelzer. It became a hospital where many of the folks who live here were born in that building. So it's not just an old building. It's not just an old building. That is Pelzer. That is our history. And so much of our history has been lost or torn down. And that building is iconic. It has a front spire. I've never seen a building like that anywhere in South Carolina. It kind of looks like a little church maybe. But if you go inside, there's all these rooms. There's a large room that was the waiting room at one point for the doctor's office, the hospital. That can be our council chambers. We've got offices, conference rooms, places for archives. All municipal activity can happen right there. And that's the second building we want to restore fully using our ARPA funds. And then the third, of course, is the historic gym right there on the corner of Levy and Courtney, built in 1922. It is the one that is currently used frequently. We rent that out. We've got basketball starting in the evenings where the community can come in on Wednesday nights and play basketball indoors. A lot of potential, but you know, you can't recreate buildings like these anymore. You know, you just can't do it. And so it's important to us to save what is remaining of the old days in Pelzer as we hold on to our identity and also get ready for what's next for us in Pelzer. Pelzer Manufacturing Company built all these structures, including the one we're sitting in over 100 years ago, for the benefit of the citizens who worked at the mill. You know, the old timers around here tell me all the time, they say, Will, we were poor, but we didn't know it because we had everything. And that is so interesting and fascinating to think about, that all of these amenities were provided. And so when the mills shut down and left, all of those things came to a screeching halt. And for the people who benefited from those things, it was very sad. And so now we're trying to figure out how to bring a lot of that back in a new way. But also the main challenge for us here in Pelzer is, how do you pay for it? And how do you pay for it without putting that burden, that cost burden on the people who live here? That's really what I think about all the time, every day. Where can I find additional sources of revenue that are not coming from the people who live here in Pelzer? And the community building is one way to do that, to rent it out. Because here in Pelzer, a couple $1,000s goes a long way. And so that's what we're trying to do, is to find those sources. Captain Smythe, I keep mentioning his name, he was the president of Pelzer Manufacturing Company from its forming in 1881 until he retired in 1923. And his house is this giant house next door, two-story, gorgeous Victorian mansion that has been hidden behind grown-up bushes and hedges for years. And there's finally a plan for that property. And it's going to be something akin to a bed and breakfast, which I think is going to be perfect. Perfect for the town. I'm most excited that home will be saved. It is the largest and nicest home in the entire town, and it is a major part of our history. And when you walk into that home, it's like walking back in time. You know, he came from Charleston, and the floor is it's not only hardwood, but it is in patterns with pegs, like square and diamond shapes, things you don't find anywhere around here. So I'm very excited to have that restored and also put to use as a business. And in working together, folks can come here to the Pelzer Auditorium and stay in that home, in the bed and breakfast one day, and literally just walk next door and see a show, walk back and have a nice meal, and stay in a really nice a place there in that home. You know, last season we had over 500 people travel to Pelzer, over 50 miles away, to come here to see a show. Now imagine if we had a place for them to stay as well. And in working together in things such as that, you know, everyone wins. Pelzer wins. If they stay here and they eat there, there's going to be some hospitality funds coming from that that we can use and improve our green spaces and parks and continue to promote tourism. And so it all kind of works together to lift Pelzer back up to where it needs to be.
Fall is big time for events for everybody. What kind of events you've got planned coming in?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is there's going to be a vintage car show on that same parking lot next to the Pelzer Gym. It's going to be on a Saturday, October the 8th. It's coming up. It is for a very good cause. It is part of a larger event where folks are going to be riding on motorcycles and they end up at this vintage car show. I believe it starts around noon. We'll put some information on our Facebook page for you. And there's an organization here in Pelzer called Miss Liberty Bell, and they are located right down the street here on Levy Street, and they are all about helping our veterans in any way that they can, helping them find resources, employment, support. And this car show is especially important because it's going to be raising money for veterans who are in hospice, and that is so important. And so there's going to be some raffles. I'm going to donate some tickets to shows. We're going to have some Pelzer merchandise there. But more importantly, not only is it a good cause, but it's a great opportunity for community. So come on out and see those vintage cars and meet some people, and let's help raise some money for these veterans. There's nothing more important than that. There's going to be a meeting on Tuesday, October the 25th, in the gym to start our master plans for 2 areas. This is supported by the county. Anderson County has really helped us out a lot. I mean, they've taken us under their wing in many ways. We're so thankful for them. They have helped us start our very first planning commission. We had our very first meeting for a planning commission. And so plans are on the mind. So on that Tuesday, we're going to meet and start talking about a master plan for the Monkey Park and the Timmerman kayak launch, so that we can map out for the future what we would like to see that look like. That helps us as well, so that we can find funding and we can know what to do. Like if someone says, hey, I want to build a picnic shelter at Monkey Park, we can say, great, look, that's part of our master plan. So we know what it's going to look like and where it's going to go, so that we're all kind of working on a cohesive idea for the area instead of it being patchwork and haphazard and random. So we're all also on the same page as like what is going to happen here. We all know what's coming. Now let's get together and make it happen together to make this happen, what is coming. So that's pretty awesome. And then we've got the annual Pelzer Christmas Market on Saturday, November the 19th. And it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's also at the Pelzer Gym. and that's been very popular. We've got vendors, lots and lots of vendors outside under tents, and people love to come and shop for Christmas. And that Christmas market, like I said, is going to be November the 19th. So I believe we're still taking vendors. If you want to call the town office and check, that'd be a good idea, but make plans for that. And of course, we've got our Christmas parade, first one, on Saturday, December the 3rd, first one in the area, I should say. And that is in conjunction with our good pals up the street in West Pelzer. And we like to do it at dusk so we can make it a light parade. We love lights at Christmas in Pelzer. Everyone knows that. We like to wrap ourselves in Christmas lights. So that Christmas parade is going to start up the street at the fire department, West Pelzer Fire Department. Come on down through town and end up right down here at the river. It's always a good time, and we love doing it at dusk so we can show off our Christmas lights in the parade.